Today, we're exploring legal and regulatory frameworks, the essential rules that govern international business operations. This knowledge helps you navigate global business with confidence, understanding the legal environment you'll operate within. Let's examine the key areas of international business law that every global entrepreneur should understand. We'll be understanding the global legal landscape, which varies significantly across different countries and regions. First, we have trade regulations, which govern how goods and services move across international borders. These regulations govern the exchange of goods and services between different countries and trading partners. They set specific rules for tariffs, import quotas, and customs procedures that affect international trade. Next is dispute resolution, which addresses how conflicts between international parties are handled. This area focuses on resolving conflicts efficiently when they arise in international business relationships. Arbitration and mediation are common methods used to settle disputes without lengthy court battles. Then we have IP laws, which protect intellectual property rights across different jurisdictions. These laws protect creations of the mind, including inventions, artistic works, and brand identities. This covers trademarks, patents, and copyrights that safeguard your intellectual assets globally. Finally, commercial contracts form the foundation of international business agreements. These are binding agreements between global businesses that outline their mutual obligations. They define specific terms, delivery requirements, and payment arrangements for international transactions. Now let's explore the international arbitration process, a crucial method for resolving cross-border disputes. This provides a structured approach to cross-border disputes that might arise in international business. The first step is to agree to arbitrate, where parties commit to this dispute resolution method. Parties sign a contract with an arbitration clause that outlines how disputes will be resolved outside court. Next, they appoint arbitrators who will hear the case and make a binding decision. Neutral experts are selected, often 1 or 3 arbitrators, based on their specific expertise in the field. Then, they conduct hearing, where both parties present their evidence and arguments. Evidence and arguments are exchanged in a flexible, informal setting rather than a formal courtroom. Finally, they issue final award, which concludes the arbitration process with a binding decision. Arbitrators provide a binding decision that is enforceable globally under international conventions. Let's examine the core pillars of international IP protection that safeguard innovations worldwide. These pillars are essential for safeguarding your innovations and creative works across global markets. First are patents, which protect new inventions and technological advancements from being copied. Patents protect new inventions by granting exclusive rights for manufacture, use, or sale for a period. Next are trademarks, which protect brand identity and recognition in the marketplace. Trademarks safeguard distinctive logos, brand names, and symbols that identify specific products or services. Then we have copyrights, which protect original creative works from unauthorized use. Copyrights secure original works of authorship like books, music, software, and artistic creations. Finally, trade secrets protect confidential business information that provides competitive advantage. Trade secrets protect confidential business information that gives companies a competitive edge in the market. Now let's discuss why IP protection matters in global trade and its significant business implications. Intellectual property protection is vital in international trade for several important reasons. It safeguards a company's innovations and creations, preventing unauthorized copying and maintaining competitive advantage. IP rights incentivize research and development by granting exclusive rights, which attracts crucial investments. Furthermore, IP facilitates global trade by enabling licensing agreements and royalty generation from international markets. Lastly, it protects consumers by ensuring product authenticity and quality, reducing counterfeit goods in the marketplace. Finally, we'll explore international IP legal frameworks that establish global standards for protection. These frameworks create global standards for intellectual property rights across different countries and regions. First is WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization that coordinates international IP protection. WIPO promotes global IP protection and administers important international treaties like the PCT and Madrid systems. It administers key treaties, including the Patent Cooperation Treaty and Madrid System for International Registration. Next is the TRIPS Agreement, which sets minimum standards for IP protection through the WTO. This WTO agreement establishes international IP standards that member countries must implement in their laws. It sets minimum protection rules that all member countries must follow for intellectual property rights. Then we have national IP laws, which vary from country to country in their specific provisions. Each country has its own IP laws that provide protection within their specific legal jurisdiction. These provide jurisdiction-specific protection that varies based on each country's legal system and priorities. Finally, bilateral agreements create specific IP protections between particular countries or regions. These agreements establish specific IP protections that go beyond general international standards. They are negotiated between two or more countries or regions to address specific trade relationships. Now let's explore how we ensure compliance with trade and sanctions in global business operations. This is all about mitigating risks that companies face when operating across international borders. First, we have due diligence as a critical component of compliance. This means you must thoroughly vet all suppliers, customers, and partners for any prohibited activities. Next, we have legal audits as another essential practice. You should conduct regular checks to identify non-compliance issues and take immediate corrective action. Training and awareness is our third key element for compliance. It's crucial to educate all employees about legal requirements and the serious consequences of violations. Finally, we have compliance tools to support these efforts. You should utilize technology to monitor and track sanctioned entities in real time effectively. Let's define what international sanctions actually are in the global business context. International sanctions are restrictive measures imposed by countries or international bodies on other nations, entities, or individuals. They serve as a foreign policy tool to influence behavior, punish violations of international law, or protect national security. Sanctions can take various forms, including economic restrictions, trade bans, financial asset freezes, or arms embargoes. Compliance is critical for businesses, as violations can lead to severe fines, legal penalties, and significant reputational damage. Now, let's look at the key global regulatory bodies that shape international business. These organizations serve as stewards of international business practices and standards. First, we have the World Trade Organization, commonly known as the WTO. Next is the International Monetary Fund, which we refer to as the IMF. Then we have the World Bank, another major international financial institution. The International Labor Organization, or ILO, focuses on labor standards. Finally, we have the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, known as the OECD. Let's examine the role of regulatory bodies in international business operations. Their primary function is ensuring fairness and stability in global markets for all participants. One key role is to promote fair trade between nations and businesses. They facilitate important trade negotiations and agreements between countries. These bodies also resolve trade disputes that arise between different nations. They work to reduce trade barriers like tariffs and quotas that hinder commerce. Another critical function is to ensure compliance with international standards. They set comprehensive international standards and regulatory frameworks. These organizations monitor adherence to global regulations across countries. They provide financial stability and economic assistance when needed. Now, let's discuss the advantages of international arbitration for dispute resolution. This method is preferred for resolving cross-border business disputes effectively. First advantage is speed and cost efficiency in the arbitration process. Arbitration is often faster and more economical than traditional court litigation due to streamlined processes. Another significant benefit is confidentiality in arbitration proceedings. Hearings and awards are typically private, protecting sensitive business information from public disclosure. Neutrality and flexibility are also key advantages of arbitration. It provides an impartial forum and allows parties to choose their arbitrators and rules. Finally, we have international enforcement as a major benefit. Awards are widely recognized and enforceable across over 160 countries under the New York Convention. Let's summarize the key takeaways from our discussion on global business frameworks. These are the essential points you should remember about international business operations. First, international laws govern trade, intellectual property, and dispute resolution globally. Intellectual property rights protect innovation and maintain competitive advantage worldwide. Compliance with trade agreements and sanctions is critical to avoid severe penalties. Arbitration offers a neutral, efficient, and enforceable way to resolve international disputes. Regulatory bodies like WTO and IMF ensure fair, transparent, and stable global business. Staying informed and implementing robust compliance programs are absolutely essential for success.